You're big enough. You're literally big enough, bro. I guess the reason I kind of wanted to talk about this today is the fact that for so long I did not feel big enough. But in reality, when are you big enough? I've been lifting for about literally 6 years at this point, and I'm about 67 kilos right now. Pretty lean, like yeah, I am pretty lean, and I do have abs and all that stuff, and that's cool. But there was a version of me like 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, maybe even a year and a half ago. And there's still a little part of it that's inside me that kind of always said to myself, you're not big enough. Until you're 85 kilos, you're not big enough. No matter what body fat percentage you are, if you're not 85 kilos, you're just not big enough. But the thing is, I started out at like 52 kilos. So here's a picture of me at 52 kilos. There's another one. When I was 52 kilos, I was really, really skinny. I'm about 6 foot, maybe 5'11". Yeah, I haven't until this year or the year before, I haven't felt big enough. So it was kind of this unrealistic expectation of what progress had to be, because I was comparing myself to people like David Lade or Lex Little, for example, like people like that, where either they're on gear or they're genetic freaks. Like, yeah, they work hard, cool, but I work just as hard. And I know a lot more. Like, as cocky as that sounds, I've done postgraduate study in exercise science. I train hard as fuck. Here's a video of me training hard as fuck. I understand how hard to train. I understand protein timing. I understand recovery. I understand sleep. I'm pretty rigorous with it. But I never felt big enough until I accepted the fact that I'm never going to be a bodybuilder. And the fact that I can still progress and and compete against myself, but I am big enough now. So how do we get past this, right? How do we get past this feeling of not feeling big enough? What do we need to do? So there's a few things we need to do. Probably best to stop comparing yourself to anyone else at all, really. You can compete against them. You can try to be better. But if you compare yourself day in, day out to those kinds of people, like I compared myself to David Lade for about 4 years, and I expected the same results. And that's not healthy. That's not going to lead to a healthy relationship. So the consequences of this, it led to a damaged relationship with food. I looked at food for years and I was just like, because I would just try and force feed myself. And for me, bulking becomes really, really hard at a certain point. So I have an underdeveloped torso, basically, because of my chronic condition. So even despite that, I would force feed time and time and again. So it's taken me about a year and a half of not even thinking about how much I'm eating. That took a long time to heal my relationship with food. And you don't realize how damaged it is until you realize what it's like to be healthy. So now I actually look forward to food, and I look forward to going to the gym, exercising, other forms of exercise. I literally would not do any other forms of exercise because they didn't contribute towards muscular hypertrophy or getting fucking jacked. I would orientate my entire life. This started in about the last year of high school. I would skip school, go hit the gym, drink my nasty protein shake that I kept in my bag all day. That was like 800 calories. Then I would get home and force feed until I went to sleep. I gained like 20 kilos. I went from 52 kilos to about 72 in probably 2 years, maybe? Yeah, probably around 2 years. And that was super cool. Like, that was fun to have that control over my body and feel as though I have some kind of, feel as though I have control there. But that need for control becomes a body image disorder and body image issues and poor relationship with food. That stuff becomes an issue at the end of the day. So you've got to be mindful, right? Like, you can't just expect yourself to, no, I'm fine. Just because I don't like food at all and I haven't liked food for multiple years, I'm good, bro. Or, yeah, if I gain 1 kilo, I get anxiety. That is a problem. And you've got to confront these problems head on. You're already big enough. It doesn't matter what anyone else looks like. If you've made significant progress, you are big enough. I wish someone told me that. I wish someone told me that 3, 2, even 2 years ago, even if they told me that last week. Like, I would get positive feedback on my physique, and people would, I remember in the last year of high school, people were saying, like, damn, you gained a lot of muscle. What the fuck did you do? I discounted it, though, because people in high school had said to me, damn, he's so skinny. And then people in uni said to me, damn, he's so skinny. Like, those comments, yes, they suck, but you have to learn to ignore those people. Because those people are, like, the kind of people who make comments on your body are, 1, unintelligent, 2, socially unaware. Those people have no idea. And they're not playing the I'm going to improve myself game. They're not playing that game. The kind of people who make those comments aren't playing the game. So ignore them. Ignore them. It's about your progress, not what they think you should look like. Not what you think you should look like. It's about how you look now. Can you progress? Do you feel good about the process? A healthy relationship with your body. Like, you're not going to be a professional IFBB pro. You're not going to be an IFBB pro. Unless you want to take a bunch of gear, commit the next 10 years of your life, and maybe become an IFBB pro, go ahead and do that. Like, if you think you got it, go for it. Fucking go for it. If you think you got it, but at least get a pretty damn respectable physique naturally, then try do it. Do what Josh Bridgman did. Josh Bridgman is a great example of this. He only pursued taking gear when he realized that, shit, I have a shot at this. So I think it was last year, he went to try and get his pro card. He got his fucking pro card. I remember when I first talked to Josh Bridgman, he probably had like 5,000 followers on Instagram. No one knew really who he was, relatively. Now the average guy I go up to in the gym knows who Josh Bridgman is. He did very, very well as a natural bodybuilder. And his physique looked fucking crazy. Here's this one picture of him. I'll try and put it up on the screen, where he looks ridiculous. Like, that is unattainable naturally for most men. Like, it's pretty unattainable. And I'm 100% confident he was natural there. Because you look at where he's at now. He's gained like 30 kilos of muscle. That's what gear does to you. He gained 8 kilos in his first cycle. If you're not new to gear, that shit doesn't happen. You're big enough. Learn to love yourself. Learn to love what your body can do rather than how it looks. I'm proud that I can run a half marathon in an hour 34. I'm proud that I can dumbbell press more than I could 3 months ago. I'm proud that my body can adapt. I'm proud that I live pain-free. That's the kind of stuff that matters. It's not how big you feel. If you just chase always being bigger, that's going to lead you down a dark path. And like, it depends the way you do that. I'm chasing being bigger, but it's about the mentality, right? Is it because of self-love? I want to progress. I care about the sport of bodybuilding. That doesn't mean I'm ever going to compete. I probably won't. For a while, me and a bunch of my friends were going to compete in 2023, and it was this big sort of thing, like, everybody's competing in 2023, you got to compete. No, I'm not going to compete. I'm not there yet. I care about my relationship with my body. I could do an insane diet and get super shredded, I know that. But where's that going to leave me? When the judges tell me, hey man, you're not symmetrical, how's that going to make me feel, man? Like, that's not conducive to the goal of what I'm trying to achieve. You're big enough. You're literally big enough, bro.